Hey, what's up, everybody? This is TR Burns and my wife,
Maya Burns.
and this is our new season of Fight for Love Club, where we talk about marriage, relationship, parenting, really in the goal and the mission to help people fight for love.
Well, we started Fight for Love Club. It derived out of our own challenges in our
Many
marriage.
challenges.
Yes,
Many
in our marriage. And so we decided or made a decision that we were going to fight for our own love and marriage, and from there use the platform to encourage other married couples, because out of all of the problems and situations in the world today, I think marriage is
I think it's the foundation of us even having a better life, because I think people think, okay, they're in love, so that's enough. But love, in order to love, you got to be educated how to love, conflict resolution,
absolutely
all that good stuff. So on Fight for Love, we're going to be sharing a lot of intimate conversations. We're going to have disagreements on this show.
Yeah.
We're going to battle.
We can agree to disagree.
Yeah, that part, right? But most of all, at the end of the show, we're going to still be in love.
Yeah.
Sometimes fighting more for love than anything else. No, you don't want this war machine right here.
Yeah.
So that's what it's about. So the goal of this this platform, and shout out to Influence TV Network, is to
encourage
what
marriages.
Yes.
Also, if you're not married and you're single, you're dating, whatever the case may be, it is to encourage you, to give you tips and pointers if you're dating or single, to prepare for marriage. So,
in real talk, a lot of bad marriages are a result of bad dating.
that is very true. Wow.
I just put that. That is a motivation right there. Yup, is a result of bad dating, where if you're gonna date, you date for education. You want to be educated in your love when you get married, so that you understand how to love each other.
Yes.
Because that wedding day is a wedding day, but the marriage is long term.
Yes.
Yes, lifetime. So, that's Fight for Love. And today is our first episode. And this episode,
We've been gone for a minute, because when we first started Fight for Love, like I said, it derived from out of our challenges, and we started it. Then we had to go back in the chamber.
we had to go back into the laboratory and the therapy, whatever we had to go. It was somewhere. It's a cave that we had to go to gather ourselves. And we went through a lot of life transitions since our Fight for Love initial opener.
Right.
We only had 3 children. Now we have 4.
4 children.
So as a result of us fighting for love, we definitely found a way to love. And we have Titus Burns. TRB 3. Yep. So that's what happened. And he is the child. He's 4 children wrapped up into one. And he loved his mama and his dad, but he loved his mama. He think his mama, his wife. We got problems with that right there.
So that's a good opening to bring us to our topic on today.
Oh, Lord, here we go. Here we go.
I'm just saying. Good. What's our topic?
So this show is special because you see my shirt, dedicated, awesome dude. Hope you see it. You see that?
Yes.
Right? Dad.
That shirt speaks volumes. That represents you very well.
Yes. I went today and I'm saying this is me all day. I love being a father, I love being a husband. But there is today is Father's Day. We're releasing this our first episode of Fight for Love Club as we come back. I guess the Fight for Love Club Reloaded And there's a few things we want to touch on about fathers and mothers, because there is comments on social media that Mother's Day is celebrated more than Father's Day, and fathers don't get their just. So we was going to debate this on social media, because I shared one of my social media friends post, Nucci Rayo, shout out to him, and Godify, and he's a recording artist, all that good stuff. And so his post is basically, let me see if I could pull it up. Let me try to
probably say verbatim of what.
No, I want to represent myself correctly.
Yes. Uh-huh.
So, Nucci Rayo, he said, "Pardon me, wives, sex is not a Father's Day gift."
Read that again. He said, "What? What's the first part?"
Pardon me, wives.
Wives. Okay. Uh-huh.
Not girlfriends. Wives.
Wives. Okay.
Sex is not
a
Father's Day gift.
A
Father's
Day gift.
And he ends it with a great ending. You're welcome. So I almost choked laughing at this. I was reading this at the restaurant, and I shared it. So I said, at Wives of the World, and I shared that post. And then I had my wife talk about
excuse me, fathers. Fathers.
Wives are not your children. Thanks.
Thanks for that bit of information, but wives are not your children.
So the debate is, who should be celebrating the fathers on Father's Day?
Okay.
Because
that's my argument. Or not only the debate is who should be celebrating the fathers on Father's Day, but for years I have witnessed fathers be upset.
Yeah.
That Mother's Day, I guess, is more celebrated than Father's Day. And my question is, who are you gentlemen blaming?
All right, so let's in order to be, I'm a professional, videographer, podcaster, so I gotta really set this up.
Okay.
So your perspective, I get it, but there's a lot of history to why some men are mad. First thing, if you have not watched or downloaded the Dreamers and Winners podcast, I have a gift to fathers. It talks about why do many fathers get robbed on Father's Day, right? And I really deal with society, the perception of society on men, on fathers, especially when there's divorce, breakups, and children are involved. So I think in that aspect of it, some fathers, because they're not with the mother and they have children that are not living with them, they feel slighted because the father doesn't feel value. And that day seems compared to Mother's Day, where the child lives with the mother and they are with the mother custodially. The mother has the child. So that child is constantly being shaped, and they see that mother. I must honor that mother because I live with that mother. So I think, and this is not our situation, me and you, but this is how a lot of men, because when I see this, I see it from men that are hurt or they don't feel honored. So I feel like y'all do honor me all year long. Same way with you. I buy you stuff all the time. You purchase me stuff. So it's not even with me and you. It's nothing you can really give me that I can't give myself or you haven't given me, vice versa. Right. But in the aspect of a father that doesn't see his child as much, doesn't have the relationship, and he feels that when that one day comes around, that it's supposed to be his day of celebration, he doesn't even get that. I think that's where a lot of that comes from, because if you look at society, they paint men as dogs.
And I would agree with you in that aspect, right? I would agree with you in that aspect as far as men may get the short end of the stick when it pertains to this man-made holiday, right? Because like you said, all year round, we should be celebrated.
Yeah.
So this one day out of the year, okay.
Well, hold on. There's a difference between celebration and honor.
Mm-hmm.
So you can celebrate somebody by saying, hey, happy Father's Day, happy Mother's Day,
Right.
happy birthday. But to honor somebody means not only do you celebrate them, but you go out your way to make them know that you hold them higher than everyone else.
So, but see, that's my point, right? So
come on, give them the point.
Father's Day is one day out of the year that is celebrated, as well as Mother's Day, right? But I expect to be honored as a mother every day. But my thing is, and fathers should be honored as fathers every day. But so my thing is, though, when it comes to the actual Father's Day, men are upset and they are angry.
Again, when you look at society, no matter if, okay, let me give you an example. Me and you are married. Mm-hmm. I'm on everything. You on everything of mine. I'm on my kids. My kids got my name, everything. But even going to the hospital where I'm on all the school and I'm on these different things, it is society that is trained to look for the mother. Let me give you an example. So when Titus was born, I got upset because when my child was born, I never noticed this to my last child, that there was no place on a little footsie thing they do for the father. They only had mother. It had mother and child. It didn't have no place for the father to put his name on the little foot imprint. And that is, whoever created that thing, had to know. Maybe they didn't, but it's just wrong. Because if you're if you care, I don't care if you divorced or whatever it is, you there, that's your child. It should be equality in that. Now we got all this equality about gay people and equality about equal pay. But what about equality with the element by which biblically and scientifically male and female, husband and wife, are supposed to be equal in that matter?
I'm not arguing with you there. I'm not arguing.
All right, what are you saying? Because I'm giving a good conversation right here.
But again, that is not my debate. So my debate is, okay, you gentlemen are upset, and rightfully so. But who are you upset at? You're upset at society. You're upset at your children. You're upset at your spouse, because at the end of the day, that's who gets the grunt of it, or whatever the case may be. You can say, I'm upset at society, but okay, but who's hearing about your upsetness at society? Well,
last night,
let's go back to the post that you brought into play about wives. Sex is not a Father's Day gift.
It's not. It's not.
Okay, but Father's Day is for the children. Fathers are for the children to celebrate their father. Not
well, look, let me tell you something. Like I'm gonna put it to you.
As a wife, I do honor my husband for being the great father that he is, but I am not your child.
You're not my child.
So
hold on. Let me finish my point. Let me finish my point.
Is not a Father's Day gift. You're absolutely right.
You're not I'm not your dad. I'm not your father, but I'm your daddy. I am your daddy. You better admit that I'm your daddy. Okay? So daddy need a gift. And I ain't talking about just sex. Daddy need a gift. See, I'm their dad, but I'm your daddy.
Terrence,
I'm your daddy. Now, come on.
You need to stop.
Come on. I'm your daddy. I'm your daddy. I get what you're saying. I understand. But the children, school system, They're taught to honor that mother because it is what is. Look at TV. The father always leaves. The mother never leaves. When there are crackhead mothers, there are deadbeat mothers. But if you look at television, in the news, them stories are not shared as much as the father. That's messed up, right? So I think that's where we're getting that from, because I'm honored every day, right? Now, I understand. I've been on the other end of the stick where I do have a child that's not living in a house by my former marriage. So I would get maybe a text, Happy Father's Day, or a call for Father's Day, but no honor. No honor, no going out the way to let me know, to make me know on that one day, because the rest of the 364 days, I don't feel that person really honored me or value me as their dad based on certain circumstances. If some in their control, some out of their control. So that one day I would get upset if I didn't get a call. I personally hate when it's my birthday, a Father's Day, and someone that I've been very gracious and loving to, and went out my way to celebrate and honor, sends me a text. Like, you know that. I hate when somebody on my birthday sends me a HBD. Like, what does that mean? You can't, I'm not even worth actually spelling out happy birthday.
Right.
Like, people that I care about, they don't get a text alone. If they get a text because I'm in the midst of something and I want them to know that I'm thinking of them. But before their day is over, they get a phone call, right, and they get money from me. I give out money on birthdays. I give out gifts because I believe I'm a prophet. I believe when you give to a prophet, when you believe people are special or valuable, you sow into their lives on them particular days. Because you want them to know that you honor them. Honoring them, that's why we give gifts. We don't give gifts because they need our money or they need a happy birthday or a happy Father's Day. We give them, let them know that something that I value, I'm giving to you because you are valuable, right, to my life. So I think that the way society is set up, and that's why, I'm about to really go hard, my new documentary for men, and we're going to do another vertical love documentary, because I think now we got to be retrained.
Right. So that's what I was about to ask. It's like, okay, so now you're saying, well, we blame society, and that's rightfully so. How are we going to now change that dynamic? Whereas though, to be honest, Mother's Day was originated before Father's Day, the day, the whatever. So Mother's Day was originated before Father's Day. All right. So it was recognized before Father's Day. So how do we, so we have to change that dynamic of, fathers being.
Well, I think first thing is creating, if you look at Disney, you look at all these different companies that basically teaching our kids. When you watch a show, the father always is the one that cheats. He's the only one that is abusive. He's the one that leaves. He's the one that's wrong. That is a constant narrative that is being promoted. Secondly, marriage and family has been perverted from the biblical sense of family and marriage. Right. So you have anybody saying they can be married to anything, and anyone saying they can be a man, and anyone saying they can be a woman, and anyone saying they can be fluid. And you got all these different things that have become perverted, and they are perverted and have perverted marriage rather. And that dynamic of balance, I shared it in my podcast, that God gave husband and wife, male and female, so that the children can have balance. So again, if a child is living with their mother 99% of the time, their perspective of their father is going to be imbalanced. Right. They don't know their father. They don't understand. And then when we have women or men that don't have maturity or wise counsel in their life, and they're sharing intimate details with their children about their former spouse or the relationship and the reason why it messed up, they are tipping the scales and they are hindering and hurting their children from getting that part, becoming a part, or being able to benefit from that part of their with their parent that they need.
Yeah. Right. Because ultimately you can say, well, you have parents who have separated, divorced, or whatever, or parents that haven't even been together as far as married wise goes, but they still have a relationship with their father. So at the end of the day, it's the perspective of what the child is being fed. You know what I'm saying? How are they being reared? How are they being taught how to look at fathers in their relationship?
Let's drop it like it's real hot today. Let's go deep, 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 deep. That we can go deeper than this. We can go to the point where not only are many times our children taught to dishonor the father or hold the father in a lesser value, we also have seen in aspects where the children is taught to disrespect the father's new wife, right? Which is pure ignorance. Why? Because if my ex gets married to somebody, I don't want to have a war with that person, because one thing I'm not able to control is the fact they got to live with them. Right. I can't control who they marry. So the best thing for me to do is create a reasonable relationship, reinforce respect from my end, let my child know it's okay to respect that man because he is in that house. He's the man of that house. He may not be your biological father. She may not be your biological mother, but they have rights and to be honored and respected. It does not take anything from me as your father. So we go.
Well, I mean, it would be absolutely wonderful if we lived in a perfect world like that.
We live in a
we don't. We don't. You know, I get from the perspective of my parents. My parents divorced, but not one time did my mother ever come out her mouth about my father like I should be disrespectful to him, or no, still build that relationship with your father. That had your relationship with him has nothing to do with what me and him went through. You know what I'm saying? So that's, again, in the perfect world, that's how it should be. But unfortunately, we do not live in.
And we don't live in a world where people actually love their kids. That's how I feel. Because when you love your kids, you love your children, you don't want them to be affected by the generational curses and dysfunction that you may have been grown up in. So no matter if you have had counsel or therapy, you know it didn't make you feel good. When your mama or your daddy talked about each other, fought in front of you, did some things, you didn't know how to really interpret it or articulate it, but you knew you didn't like it. So for me in my life, some things that happened in my childhood, I didn't like. So how I deal with my kids is from that perspective. I don't want them to experience that pain.
Right.
And if you love your kids, no matter how much a situation has harmed you, abused you, or impeded your ability to even love again, if you love your kids, that should be enough for you to make a different decision on how you train your kids, how you teach them, how you shape their mentality. Because today is funny. Today it's a joke. It's somebody that we feel that's insignificant because they hurt me. But now what happens when your child becomes an adult? Right. And now you have shaped them in such a way that they are living a life of dysfunction because of your pain that you have carried. Now you finally have let go of the pain, but your child is still trying to cope with the pain that you transferred onto them.
So that's how, and that's how like you just said, as far as generational curses occur and generate, generation to generation. And that's how society, continues with the antics of, how kids are shaped and molded and, what they put on TV and things of that sort, because they're pulling from what, we experience or what we display as humans.
And one thing that we have to do, and even with Fight for Love Club, we have to get back to a biblical understanding of how to be a parent and how to raise our children. I don't mean controlling them or, making them do things, but I think Like for me, I do not want my children to be living, my daughters or my sons to be living with a man or a woman and they're not married. I don't want that. Why? Not just because of it's wrong, but because I understand what it does.
Right.
I understand the doors that it opens, right? I'm not going to be sitting around getting drunk with my kids. Right. I'm not going to be doing that. Why? Because I understand what it does. And so a lot of times, this is what happens, especially in our community, is that people, when they have children, they are a parent while they're pregnant or while they anticipate the child is happening. When that child becomes a certain age where they can talk and they can do things, they stop becoming that child's parent and they become that child's friend. Mm-hmm. And when you start telling your child intimate details of certain things, when you start drinking with your kids, getting high with your kids, partying with your kids, and all these different things, you have stepped out of a place of the honoring of being a parent, and now you their friend. And now you have a problem now because that's not how parenting should be.
Right.
That a lot of times society accepts that more, like seeing TikToks with the mother and the daughter twerking together. Like I would never, like you two, that's your mother.
Right.
You're not ballroom dancing. You're not at a wedding. You literally shaking your butt with your daughter, right. And we don't see nothing. We don't see nothing wrong with that.
Wrong with it.
And this is not being too religious or deep, but we should not even. We can like the same music, but at some point we got to be able to have something that is more mature. Like we both in a club singing whatever this new thing is, whatever, and we're in the club together. We are around the same individuals. I'm your mother. I'm your father. How is that normal? Mm-hmm. And that's where the dysfunction is, because really, if the mother has her own life, understanding her own environment, then she don't have to, or he doesn't have to, the father, make their child their friend. Because they have friends to vent to. Mm-hmm. They have people to talk to. Mm-hmm. You see what I'm saying? And that's the dysfunction of society today.
I think as parents, it's a time and place for everything. Not to say that, some people will argue that, well, my child is my friend or whatever, once they get to a certain age and having those. But again, there's a time and a place for everything. Like, for instance, like you just said, as far as you won't see me, well, I don't go to the club anymore, but even if I did, but me and my daughter, she's 16 now, we do have dates where we go out as, I wouldn't even say as friends, but as we have mother and daughter dates where we enjoy each other's company or whatever. So, and again, in those instances, I am still parenting, showing her, teaching her, rearing her on how to carry herself as a young lady, as a woman, because that's what she's becoming. So I definitely understand that.
So, and that goes back to what we talking about, being a father and being, the dynamics of that, because society is so dysfunctional that even when a man is trying to be a father, you still have ignorant people. You don't always have to have the mother. So, you don't have to always have the mother. The mother might not always be the one trying to bring that wedge. It could be a grandparent. It could be an aunt. It could be an uncle. It could be these people. See, that's where the honor comes in at. Because when you honor a person because they are your baby's father or mother, no one should be able to make the decision to cut that relationship. Right. Not even you yourself. Right. Because it's not your decision to make, even as a mother. Unless it's harm and abuse going on, it's not your decision to make. So you have this function in society where the person breaks up, they get a divorce, and now you have the aunts and the uncles supposedly making the child wise to their father. But really what they're doing is they're abusing the child. It's child abuse. because you're telling this child something that they have not experienced. They don't know.
Right.
And their capacity to even understand it is not even there. But because your anger, and this is what I realize, some people don't have no benefit in bringing a wedge between a child and their parent. They just are evil. Mm-hmm. They don't even know why they're saying what they say. They're just evil. And that's just, it's not specific to this child. It's to whoever they can ruin. They're just miserable and evil. That's where gospels come from. People that gospel and always got something negative to say, they're evil. And they don't look at how it's going to affect that person they're transferring evil to.
Okay, yeah. So just to reel it back in a little bit. Now we have addressed the fact that it has been society who has put a negative stamp on Father's Day, on fathers, on men, period. And we want to kind of get away from that so that we want our men to heal. Mm. And I think that's very important.
Maybe that's the next thing we need to say. Then, some things you can do to encourage honor, excuse me, to encourage honor your child to honor their father. So I would start by saying, you be honorable.
Right.
To be honorable don't mean you got to like everything they do. They can be everything that you believe they are. But honorable means you're fair. You give them their due because of who they are. Not necessarily because of what they've done, but because of who they are. And then you're honorable.
Well, first, I believe that has to be something that's taught. That is something that is not taught. That is something that is not taught, not even as an example anymore. We have Mother's Day and Father's Day, and they say, all right, celebration or whatever, and celebration by giving gifts. But as far as honor goes, that is not something that is being
well, I mean, I think there's no, I know for you and I, like even when you get married, there's really no community around a marriage to make sure a marriage succeeds and that you can parent, because parenting is challenging. Like when we had our kids stayed with us most of the time. We didn't really send them with no one. And people would say, well, they would have helped. But in what we knew, we kept our kids with us. And the reason that is because everyone is not going to respect how you raise your children. They will expose, open your kids up to things you said no to, tell your kids to keep a secret from you, and all that other stuff that I didn't like personally. And so a lot of times, because there's no training, there's no education, there's no community, many people fail at parenting and at marriage because we don't have any selfless elders around us. Everybody trying to be young, everybody trying to do them. No one is taking time out to help others become.
Or I wouldn't say that, or I wouldn't say it's enough of that. I would say it's not enough of that. And people have come to the point where, when you were a kid or you were a teenager or whatever, your mother told you to do certain things that was honorable or right, but because you thought you knew it all. Mm-hmm. And so in our generation, it is still that way now. So our elders, the people that are older than us, meaning me and you, can be telling us something that is right, but because we feel like now we're grown, mm-hmm. that we don't have to listen. I'm just giving that as an example. Mm-hmm. So there are those, but we have to be real and say, well, I need some guidance in this area. I need someone to come in and give me some wisdom in this area. And we have to be willing and open-minded to receive that wisdom.
I think that's a two-edged sword, because sometimes you have people that can say stuff but don't live what they say.
Okay.
So because, for instance, it could be a mother that says, listen to me because I'm your mother. Not listen to me because I'm an example of I'm living this. I'm an example of that. You telling me to forgive and you don't forgive. See what I'm saying? I'm not a person that respect people because they say respect them. I'm not.
No,
But what I'm saying, I get what you're saying, but I'm saying like you got a lot of people now, especially with the internet and all these different platforms that have become teachers with no resume. Mm-hmm. Like, so when I talk to people, even in marriage and life, it's from a space of experience, whether that's through failure or success. And then I'm conscious that I want to live what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? So you'll have people, because it's like this weird thing, especially in that I've experienced, where people think because they old, they're wise. Okay. No, you're just old. You're just the same immature person, but you're older, immature. Mm-hmm. So I get what you're saying. And my thing is also when it comes down to people helping us or so-called teaching us, teach because you love. Not because you can. You know, because when you teach because you can, it's like the teacher. When you fail, you fail. But when they love you, they're calling home. They're checking up on you in the gym. They're looking out for you. They're not just, here, take it or leave it. I don't need it. I got to check anyway. So a lot of times, that's what people are looking for.
So say that again. That's what people what?
Like they want people. It's not just you teaching me and you telling me what to do, but I want to know that you love me, that you care, that you care that I succeed, not just you care that I just listen.
But that's in relationship though.
Yeah.
Right. But some things that people say or tell you can be, you gotta, or how they say, you gotta eat the meat and throw away the bone.
I don't believe in that.
Why? You gonna eat the bone?
Huh?
You gonna eat the bone?
If you're gonna cook a meal, it should be that good.
Okay, so
I'm messing with you. I just being annoying today.
That's just that in a stranger can give you some wisdom or some insight on something. You're not in necessarily a relationship with them, but you can grasp something.
Yeah, but that's a level to that. We're not talking about that stranger because we decipher. I'm talking about family, friends, and people.
Okay.
That we're supposed to have some sort of connection to, trusting them to speak into our lives and knowing that it's coming from the right place. You can say the right thing from the wrong place. Like you could say the right thing, meaning that you could say something because you know it's right to say, but at the end of the day, you don't care about that person. You don't care to, like people used to tell us, this is a big one. Y'all need to buy a house. That's the right thing, right? Because, renting and all stuff, they said years ago, say that all the time. But never say, why didn't you buy a house? See, you saying the right thing, but when it comes from the right place, you're going to follow through where it must be a reason why. So let me see if I can assist you. Maybe you don't know something. Maybe you need to be connected with someone that can help you assist you in this area. Mm-hmm. So what happens now, you say that, you put the burden on someone, but you're not willing to carry the burden with them. Mm-hmm. So now you got the person trying to rip and run, trying to buy a house, but they don't understand.
Right.
They don't have the help. So people, that's what I mean by that. People know the right thing to say, but it's not from the right place. Right. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's a big thing. But, this Fight for Love Club show is going a little long today because we on and off the subject. But I think it's good.
It's meat in it.
And no bones.
So let's get reared back into our topic as far as Mother's Day versus Father's Day. Now, in society has painted this picture of Mother's Day being this big grand, and me personally, I don't see it that way. That's just me on a personal level. Or whatever, I don't make a big deal out of Mother's Day because, again, I expect to be honored as my children's mother every day. So Mother's Day come around, you get the little handwritten cards and maybe some flowers or something like that.
Some fake jewelry from Terrence.
Which is cool. But as mothers...
Yeah, I know.
That's cute to us. Fathers may not think it's cute to get cards and flowers and stuff, but for Father's Day. But see, then that goes into the difference right there.
Stay on subject.
That goes into the difference right there of, again, Mother's Day and Father's Day.
All right, so let's close out. Let's close out.
Okay, so let's bring back to the point. What my debate or argument was, wives are not responsible.
And I answer that. I don't have to say it again.
Wives are not responsible for Father's Day.
They're not responsible for Father's Day, but they're responsible to teach the child how to honor the father on Father's Day. So we're going to agree with that. Okay, we agree with that.
On that.
All right. So what I want to do to close out is I want to share how can you, as a mother, honor men, or honor the men in your child's life better. I would say the first thing is, even if you had a bad situation, everything wasn't bad, is not bad about the man.
Right.
So I would share, if you're going to share anything with the child, share the good giftings and abilities and the good things about that father. And by doing that.
Well, and not only that, especially if the father is dedicated to building a relationship with the child, allowing that relationship to organically happen and build without the woman's interference.
Yeah.
So allow him to be a father, allow him to be the dad, allow him to be the male figure in the child's life that he's meant to be. Because just because y'all relationship didn't work out doesn't excuse him from being a father.
Secondly, you can honor the man in your child's life, the father of your child, but not allowing other men to take their honor. By making sure that no matter who you marry, no matter who you date, you respect them. The child must honor them, but that's not their father. Right. We take that personal.
Not only that, for our men who are going through those situations, although it's trying and everything, handling it like a man, handling it maturely. Look, there are, and I'm not saying the systems that are in place are always favorable to the man, but take advantage of the systems that are in place. Don't be scared to do that very thing. I can't speak too much on it because I'm not a man or in that position or whatever, but I know that there are systems in place, and if you have to fight for it, fight for it.
I think also, too, I've been in that situation, so a lot of times the mother will weaponize the system because they know it's biased. And they know most men don't want to go to court.
Right.
Just like most men don't go to the doctor, they don't want to go to court. So they use that. So you have a lot of men.
That's a good topic for.
Okay, but let's stay on subject, though. Let's stay on subject. You about to go off subject.
But no, I'm just saying that's a good topic. Not for fight for love.
We're not doing that right now. No, we're not doing that.
Just prolonging this exit right now. Just
whatever. Anyways, so I think that the fear makes a lot of men compromise and bend to unjust requests from their baby mothers or ex-wives because they don't want to go to court. So they put themselves in a hardship to avoid that. So again, that's the second one, going out your way to make sure that no one replaces that father in your child's life. Another thing is teach your child how to honor by you showing it's okay to honor. Like a lot of times you have kids that feel like they got to take a side because not just not the mother, but the father, they're not saying it's okay to say how you love your mother. It's okay to miss your mother. So I've heard of kids getting beatings or getting cursed out because they want to call their father. Or I've been in a situation where my child phone was taken if they wanted to call me so that the child cannot talk to me. So you have to make it okay. You have to make it okay for that child to honor that parent. I would say the fourth one would be enforce honor. When a child says something negative or disrespectful, they may have a disagreement, a misunderstanding. They may not like something that was done or said to them. Don't ever make the child feel like it's okay to disrespect their father. Don't ever make that. And that should be something that the father knows, that you will not allow his child to disrespect him. Because once that happens, there's no need for the father to be around. If not only the mother is disrespecting, but the child is disrespecting the father, and there's no repercussions for that. You can't discipline the child, even though it's your child, because disciplining that child because of the way that the dynamics of the relationship is will cause more strife and more frustration. So you try to not do nothing so that you can keep peace, but that's not keeping peace, because you're losing your mind trying to do it. So those are the 4 things I think that can happen to start. So I think we had a good show today. If you just tuning in, this is Fight for Love Club with TR and Maya Burns, and we've been talking about Father's Day, the difference between Mother's and Father's Day. We come to an agreement of who should be responsible for honoring the father on Father's Day, and we feel it's the children, but we do agree that the mothers should teach the children the fathers.
Not only the mothers, but we as a people, as a whole in society, needs to do a better job at that. Because again, you said, if we're saying that we're blaming society on it, and you're saying that society has taught children how to honor the mother, then society is responsible for teaching children how to honor the father as well.
Good point. Well, we're excited. If you have comments, if you have anything you would like to share, if you want to come on the show and you have a different opinion, hit us up in the comments. Send us a inbox on Facebook, Fight for Love Club, on Instagram, Fight for Love Club on Facebook. Send us an email. We're all ears and all eyes to hear what your opinion is, because I know some people I don't agree with none of what they're saying. I only agree with some of what they're saying. And one thing I will say before we close is that watch the whole show and move yourself out the way when you listen, because a lot of times people are just defensive because they want to be right, and they don't want a difference of opinion. And this is a challenge for many parents going through these situations. Get from people that are just like you, doing the same thing you do, and that's why you don't see nothing wrong with what's being done. Right. You get around some real mature women and men, then you're going to start seeing how I'm conducting myself in parenting is incorrect. All right. And there's nothing wrong to admit you was raised wrong. It doesn't have nothing. It doesn't have it. God bless you. It's not against your mother or father. Most of our mothers and fathers did the best they can do with the information they had. And many of them was raised wrong. And many of their parents was raised wrong. So we're changing it now. So don't be afraid to talk about something for the sake of offending your parent or someone else. No, we want to change the dynamics of our nation, of this world, and that's going to happen through conversation and through us really being honest about it, right? Because a lot of times, especially in Black families, we don't apologize, we don't admit we were wrong, we kill each other, we kill our family. We pray over stuff, but we don't allow prayer to deliver us. Right. And then we wonder why our families are divided, dysfunctional, addictive behaviors, and all we can say is we have religion, right? And we don't want to just do that. We want to really have genuine relationship with our children, with our parents. We want grandparents. Bring the grandparents back. Bring families back. Not this all is single parent, single mother, no father. That's dysfunction. Yeah. No matter what the circumstance is, that is not the best that God has for us. Right. So if you're going to take anything from our Fight for Love Club episode today, look at yourself based on the Word of God and based on this new information. And if you see something you got to adjust, just adjust. Pray to God. Hey, God, I'm not sure how to be a parent. I'm not sure how to fix what I broke. I've already started a bad process by dishonoring my child's father, and vice versa. But God, I know you are a healer and you are a deliverer. So I cry out to you today to help me turn this situation around. Bring peace and unity in this situation. In Jesus' name, amen. Just that simple. Right? Love you guys. And tune in for our next episode on Fight for Love with TR